Hello there, my name is Carl Ferguson and I am from Austin, Texas, and I go to the University of Texas at San Antonio. My major right now is health communications and I'm also minoring in public relations. I'm currently a sophomore and a half right now and really looking at all my options, but health communications is where I feel best comfortable with. With the public relations part, I really have no idea what I would want to do with that. I'm just learning about public relations. I'm just now getting into my major. However, though, with health communications, I do have a better perspective of what I want to do. I want to become a pharmaceutical sales rep, and after graduations, I would love to live in Texas and be a pharmaceutical sales rep. But however, if there's a different opportunity in a state or another country, I'll definitely take that route. Growing up, I've been in a lot of situations that I had to become the hero or I had to figuratively save the day for either my GPA at school, my work situation, or just in my personal life. Now, in this certain instance, I had to become the hero in the winter of 2017. The year was 2017, and it was December, which meant it was Christmas time. It also meant that I was wrapping up my first year of college. However, I was not celebrating Christmas like how all the other students were. I had one thing in my mind and one thing on my mind only. It was to pass my stats class. Now, going into the test, I had no idea what was going on. And I had a 72, but I had a week to prepare. So I said, you know what? I'm done with all these other classes. Let me just focus on the stats class and let me travel 20 miles to the campus where my professor tutors and go there as long as I can each day until the test. So I wisely did this. However, I was still worried about the test. Test coming up, I didn't know what was going on in the class, and I could barely understand what my professor was trying to teach me. Now, this was the last day of tutoring. The next day was going to be the test. I was nervous, and I was there for 3 hours studying, just studying everything, asking every question, repeating questions. She was giving me practice problems. I was doing them. I would get them wrong, and then some I would get them right, but I still had no idea what I was doing. Now, it started to snow outside on this particular day, and I didn't really care about that. Everyone was like, oh, it's snowing. And I was like, I didn't really care because all I wanted to do was pass my class. Now, however, this campus closed about at 9 o'clock. So it was 9:01 and the people kicked us out. And I was mad because I still didn't know what was going on. Now I walked out with my professor, as I said, trying to be buddy-buddy with her as much as I can. And her car was covered with snow, obviously because it snowed. But everything was already frozen. And she didn't know what to do. Now luckily, my family's from Ohio, and I've been in Ohio when it snows, so I know exactly what I wanted to do. She wanted to throw some hot water on it, but I was like, no, that's a bad idea. So I just broke the ice with my elbow just like that. Didn't hit it too hard, just covered it, and then I put her key in the ignition and let that thaw out. Now, she lived in Pflugerville, Texas, which is right outside of Austin. And at this particular moment in time, I was living in Kyle, Texas, which is in the exact opposite direction. Now, she didn't know how she was going to get home, and she was scared to go home. And it was about 9 o'clock at night, about to be 9:30. So I just decided, hey, you know what? Just to be a good person, I wasn't even trying to think about my getting a good grade on my test at this point. I was just like, as a good person, I'm gonna guide her home. So that's exactly what I did. I did the same thing. I hit my car and I had to thaw my car out. And I told her to give me her address so I could guide her to her house. And that's exactly what I did. I was going on the highway 30 miles per hour with my hazards lights on, making sure she got to her house safely. Now it was very painful. It was painfully slow. I'm not exactly the one to go slow while driving, but I do go below the speed limit. But just saying, 30 miles on the highway, it was kind of annoying for me. But I didn't really care about that. I just wanted my 75-year-old professor to get home safely. And that's exactly what happened. She got home safely, but then I had to drive back, and I remember it took me like an hour and 45 minutes to get back home. But at the end of the day, I was kind of happy that I did that for my 75-year-old professor because I was always taught the golden rule, treat others how you would want to be treated. And I know if I didn't know how to drive in snow, like I wouldn't want someone to like guide me to wherever I had to go. So at the end of the day, I guess it was a good thing. My top three goals to improve on when it comes to my communication skills is my group communication. I want to learn like theories on how I could get better at that. My interpersonal communication skills, I definitely need to work on that. And also filter words. I say and I like take pauses. I want to improve on that because in the real world, you need to be more professional and you just can't use those filter words.